In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. When the sun is wrapped up in darkness.
Commentary. When the sun will be folded up. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 1. The word Kawara is derived from Takwir, which denotes for the sun to lose its light. Sayyidina Hasan Basri, may Allah have mercy on him, has attached this interpretation to it. Another sense of the word is to cause to fall. Rabbi Ibn Qayyim assigns the following interpretation to this verse: the sun will be thrown into the ocean, and as a result of its heat the entire ocean will turn into fire. The two interpretations are not contradictory. They may be reconciled thus. First, its light will be put off and then it may be thrown into the ocean. Sahih of Bukhari records from Sayyidina Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, that the Holy Prophet said that on the day of resurrection, the sun and the moon would be thrown into the ocean. Musnad of Bazar has the addition that they will be thrown into hell. Ibn Abi Hatim, Ibn Abi Dunya and Abu Shaykh stated that on the day of resurrection Allah will throw the sun, the moon and all stars into the ocean. Then a violent wind will blow over them, as a result of which the entire ocean will turn into fire. Thus it is correct to say that the sun and the moon will be put into the ocean. It is likewise correct to say that they will be put into hell, because the entire ocean at that time will have been turned into hell. Derived from Majari and Qurtubi. Another meaning of takwir is to fold, and the translation in the text is based on this meaning. The sense of folding the sun is that its function will come to an end, and it will lose its light. As such, it comes to mean same thing as mentioned in first interpretation. Muhammad Taqi Asmani.
And when the stars fall dispersing.
And when the stars will swoop down. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 2. The word Inkadarat is derived from Inkidar, and it denotes to fall. The righteous predecessors have interpreted it thus. It signifies that all the stars from the sky will fall into the oceans, as explained in the preceding verses.
And when the mountains are removed.
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 2 for the Tafsir.
And when full-term she-camels are neglected.
And when the 10 months pregnant she-camels will be abandoned. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 4. The Arabic word ishar is the plural of the word ashara, and is applied to she-camels having 10 months pregnancy. Such she-camels were considered by the Arabs to be a very valuable asset, because they expected her to give birth to more camels and abundant milk. As such, they used to protect her and never left her free. The verse referring to this custom of the Arabs, who were the immediate addressees, depicts the horrible scene of the doomed state when even the most favorite wealth, like such a she-camel, will be abandoned and neglected by its owners because of the calamity they will be facing.
And when the wild beasts are gathered.
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 4 for the Tafsir.
And when the seas are filled with flame.
And when the seas will be flared up. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 6. The word Sudrat is derived from Tasfir, and it signifies to set ablaze. Ibn Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, assigns this interpretation to the word in this context. Another sense of the word is to fill, and a third sense of the word is to mix or admix. Some commentators have interpreted it in this sense. None of these interpretations is contradictory to each other. First, the salt and sweet water are admixed, and the rivers are made to flow forth into the sea. Then the seas will meet together and become one, and having more water. Then the seas will be set on fire. And then the sun and the moon and the stars will be thrown into the water. Then all the water will be turned into fire, which will become part of hell. Majari.
And when the souls are paired.
And when the people will be arranged in categories. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 7. It means that the people on the plane of gathering will be grouped, like with like, in terms of belief and deeds. Disbelievers will be grouped together and believers will be grouped together. There are differences between the deeds and habits of believers, and there are differences between the deeds and habits of disbelievers. The non-believers will be regrouped according to their essential characteristics, and the Muslims too will be regrouped according to their essential characteristics, as is reported in Bayhaqi on the authority of Sayyidina Nu'man ibn Bashir, may Allah be pleased with him, that Sayyidina Umar ibn Qadad, may Allah be pleased with him, said that the people doing similar deeds, good or bad, will be joined together. For example, the knowledgeable persons from among the Muslims who were serving Islamic studies will be made into one group. The people who devoted themselves for worship will be made into another group. The people performing jihad will be together. And the people whose main characteristic was to spend in charities will be gathered in one place. On the other hand, those who are involved in wicked activities like thieves, robbers, adulterers will also be assembled in their respective groups. Sayyidina Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, based this statement on the verse of the Holy Qur'an in which Allah says in Surah, "And you will be divided into 3 categories." Surah Al-Waqi'ah, Ayah 7, it is mentioned further in that surah that out of the 3 categories, 2 will attain salvation, who are named as the foremost and people of the right, while another group, namely the people of the left, will be comprised of the infidels.
And when the girl who was buried alive is asked,
And when the girl, child that was buried alive will be asked, for what sin she was killed. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 8, the word Mawudat is the girl child buried alive. It was a common practice in pre-Islamic time of ignorance that people would take the birth of a girl as a matter of shame for their fathers, and therefore they would bury them alive as soon as they were born. Islam has abolished this barbaric practice completely. This verse, while depicting the scene of resurrection, mentions that the girls who were buried alive will be questioned for what crime they were killed. Apparently, it seems that the question will be posed to the girl herself. This will give the victim an opportunity to prove her complete innocence, and thus the perpetrators of this crime will be hauled up in the divine court of justice, and will be duly punished for their wrongdoing. It is also possible that the question will be posed to the killers of the girls why they committed infanticide. Important note: in any case, one question may arise here. The day referred to in these verses is named as the day of requital and the day of judgment. This name itself shows that every person on that day will be put to a trial where he will be asked all sorts of questions about his deeds. Why has the Holy Qur'an at this place singled out only the question asked about the girl that was buried alive? Carefully considered, it would appear that such a girl was the victim of the barbarism of her own parents. As such, there was no one to raise a plaint against such a brutal act and to demand retaliation, especially when she was buried secretly with no evidence left. The verse therefore signifies that on the day of reckoning, even those criminals will be exposed and hauled up in the divine court of justice against whom there was no evidence, nor was there anyone who could stand up on their behalf to demand justice. Allah knows best. Abortion after 4 months is tantamount to infanticide. Ruling: burying alive infants or killing them is a major sin and a heinous brutality. Aborting a fetus after 4 months falls under the same category in Sharia, because within 4 months the fetus receives the soul and treated as a living human being. Likewise, if a person strikes on the stomach of a pregnant woman which causes the baby to abort, then, according to the common consent of the Muslim jurists, it would be incumbent upon him to set free a slave or pay its price in blood, wit, or diya. If the baby was alive at the time of aborting and then died, full diya will be incumbent. Abortion before 4 months is also unlawful, except in cases of necessity, but compared to the first case, it is a sin of lesser degree because it does not amount to killing of a living human being clearly. Ruling: birth control. Birth control, whose many forms are invented today, is also termed by the Holy Prophet as hidden infanticide in a hadith reported by Muslim from Judhamad bint Wahb, may Allah be pleased with him. There are, however, some ahadith in which the Holy Prophet is reported to have allowed azal, coitus interruptus, or to have observed silence when asked about it, which is a sign of permissibility of such an act. But it should be remembered that its permissibility is restricted to genuine needs, and that too in a way that productivity of the woman is not permanently blocked. Majari: the present-day medical science has invented some measures that prevent pregnancy forever. The Sharia does not permit such measures under any circumstances. Allah knows best.
For what sin she was killed.
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 8 for the Tafsir.
And when the pages are made public.
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 8 for the Tafsir.
And when the sky is stripped away.
And when the sky will be stripped off. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 11. The word kashatat is derived from kasht, and it literally means to strip off the skin of an animal. Probably, this condition will prevail at the first blowing of the horn, which will happen in this world. The stars, the sun, and the moon that contributed to the beauty of the sky will all lose their light and luster and will be thrown into the ocean. The outlook of the sky will be changed. This phenomenon is termed in this verse as the sky will be stripped off. Some commentators interpret the word kasht in the sense of folding up. The verse, according to them, purports to say that the sky that surrounds the upper atmosphere over our heads will be folded up.
And when hell fire is set ablaze.
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 11, for the Tafsir.
And when paradise is brought near,
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 11, for the Tafsir.
a soul will then know what it has brought with it.
Then everyone will know what he or she has put forward. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 14, it means that when resurrection, with all the horrors mentioned above, will take place, man will realize what he has brought with him. The word what here refers to is good and bad deeds, all of which will be in front of him, either in the form of the record of deeds that will be given in his hands, or his deeds will assume a specific body shape as is understood from certain traditions. Allah knows best. Having described the horrors of resurrection and the accountability of deeds, Allah swears an oath by a few stars to confirm that the Quran is the truth that has been sent down, fully protected from any interruption or distortion, and that the Prophet who has received it is a great personality, and the angel, Jibril, who descended with it was known to him beforehand. Therefore there can be no room for any doubt about its veracity. The verses here swear an oath by 5 stars, which the ancient Greeks called Consumutahyra, or the 5 wandering stars, since they seem to stray irregularly across the sky. At times they are seen moving from east to west, and at others from west to east. Different reasons have been assigned to their irregular movements. The ancient Greeks hold several contradictory explanations for this. The research of modern scientists concurs with some of the ancient philosophers and differs from some others. The reader alone knows the truth and reality. The scientists merely guess and conjecture which may be wrong. The Quran has, therefore, not involved its readers in such a useless debate. Allah showed us what was beneficial, that is, to observe the divine omnipotence, His consummate wisdom, and to repose our faith in Him.
So I swear by the retreating stars.
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 14, for the Tafsir.
Those that run their courses and disappear.
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 14, for the Tafsir.
And by the night as it closes in.
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 14, for the Tafsir.
And by the dawn when it breathes.
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 14, for the Tafsir.
That indeed, the Quran is a word conveyed by a noble messenger.
That the Quran is surely the word of a noble messenger, Jibril, the one possessing power and a high status with the Lord of the Throne. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 19-20. This is the subject of oath that affirms that Quran is the word brought by a noble messenger. Then 3 qualities are attributed to this noble messenger. The first quality is that he possesses power. The second quality is that he has high status and lofty rank with Allah, and he is obeyed in the upper realm. The third quality is that he is trusted, and there is no possibility of his committing any breach of trust or tampering with the message he conveys. The word noble messenger obviously refers to the angel Jibril, because the word messenger is used for angels, as it is used for prophets, and all the 3 qualities attributed to the messenger in the next verses are truly present in Jibril. His being powerful is mentioned in Surah An-Najm in the following words: It is taught to him by one angel of strong faculties. Surah An-Najm, Ayah 5. It is established through the hadith of Mi'raj that he is obeyed by other angels, because when he accompanied the Holy Prophet to the sky and ordered the angels appointed on its doors to open them, he was obeyed by them. That he is trustworthy is too obvious to need proof. Some commentators, however, take the phrase honorable messenger to refer to the Holy Prophet Muhammad, and accordingly have made an attempt to take all the 3 qualities referring to the Holy Prophet. In the next verses, the Holy Quran has mentioned the high status of the Holy Prophet and has refuted the silly objections raised against him by the infidels. And your companion Muhammad Madman. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 22. This is rebuttal to the foolish criticism of the enemies who said that Muhammad is, God forbid, insane. And he did see him, Jibril, on the clear horizon. Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 23. In other words, Muhammad saw Jibril on a clear horizon. A similar statement occurs in Surah An-Najm as follows. The purpose of mentioning this is to show that the Holy Prophet was well acquainted with Jibril, the angel of revelation. He had seen him in his original shape. Therefore there can be no room for doubt in the veracity of revelation he brings to him.
Who is possessed of power and with the owner of the throne, secure in position.
See Surah At-Takwir, Ayah 19, for the Tafsir.
Obeyed there in the heavens and trustworthy.
See Surah At-Takwir Ayah 19 for the Tafsir.
And Prophet Muhammad is not at all mad.
See Surah At-Takwir Ayah 19 for the Tafsir.
And he has already seen Gabriel in the clear horizon.
See Surah At-Takwir Ayah 19 for the Tafsir.
And Muhammad is not a withholder of knowledge of the unseen.
See Surah At-Takwir Ayah 19 for the Tafsir.
And the Quran is not the word of a devil expelled from the heavens.
See Surah At-Takwir Ayah 19 for the Tafsir.
So where are you going?
See Surah At-Takwir Ayah 19 for the Tafsir.
It is not except a reminder to the worlds.
See Surah At-Takwir Ayah 19 for the Tafsir.
For whoever wills among you to take a right course.
See Surah At-Takwir Ayah 19 for the Tafsir.
And you do not will except that Allah wills, Lord of the worlds.
See Surah At-Takwir Ayah 19 for the Tafsir.